What's up everyone, it's Xmart here. And let me tell you, if you're looking for a book that can completely change your perspective on money and wealth, then look no further than Rich Dad, Poor Dad. This book was absolutely life-changing for me, and in this video we're gonna break down the key lessons that you absolutely need to know. Now, Rich Dad. Poor Dad tells the story of Robert Kiyosaki and his two father figures, his biological dad, the poor dad, and his friend's father, the rich dad. Both dads worked hard and were successful in their careers, but they had totally different mindsets when it came to money. And guess what? Those mindsets had a massive impact on their financial well-being. We're going deep into the core principles of the book, from understanding assets and liabilities to breaking free from the rat race. So buckle up, hit that subscribe button, and let's unlock the secrets to financial freedom. Alright, so Robert Kiyosaki grows up with two father figures, right? His own dad, the poor dad, was a highly educated man with a stable job, a PhD, and even held a high government position. Sounds pretty successful, right? But despite his education and hard work, he struggled financially his entire life. Always living paycheck to paycheck, could never quite get ahead. Now contrast that with his rich dad, his friend's dad. This guy didn't even finish high school. Can you imagine that in today's world? But get this, he built a massive business empire. He owned companies, invested in real estate, the whole 9 yards. He understood that the more money you make, the less you actually keep because of taxes. So he legally structured his finances to pay almost nothing in taxes. And that, my friends, is the power of financial education, which brings me to my next point. See, Kiyosaki realized early on that these two father figures represented two totally different mindsets about money. His poor dad believed in working hard, getting a good education, and then finding a secure job with good benefits. Sound familiar? It's what most of us are taught, right? But here's the kicker, it's not always the best path to financial freedom. His rich dad, on the other hand, believed in financial literacy. He always said, the poor and the middle class work for money. The rich have money work for them. He stressed the importance of understanding how money works, how to make it work for you, and how to build wealth through assets that generate passive income. And that's the core message of Rich Dad, Poor Dad. It's not about how much money you make, it's about your financial IQ. Now let's talk about something Kiyosaki is really passionate about, financial education. And guess what? He doesn't think you're getting it in school. He argues that traditional education is great for getting a job, but it doesn't teach you anything about money management, investing, or building wealth. And you know what? He's got a point. Think about it. When was the last time your school taught you about investing in real estate, starting a business, or understanding how taxes really work? Probably never, right? And that's a huge problem. Because without financial literacy, we're basically thrown into the real world without the tools and knowledge we need to succeed financially. Kiyosaki believes that financial education is something you need to take charge of yourself. It's about reading books, attending seminars, talking to mentors, basically becoming a lifelong learner in the world of finance. Because the more you know about money, the better equipped you'll be to make it work for you. And here's the thing. Financial education doesn't have to be boring or complicated. There are tons of resources available online, like my channel, where you can learn about investing, budgeting, and building wealth in a fun and engaging way. So, if you're serious about taking control of your financial future, make a commitment to invest in your financial education. Trust me, it's one of the smartest investments you'll ever make. One of the most fundamental concepts in Rich Dad, Poor Dad is understanding the difference between assets and liabilities. And let me tell you, this is where most people get tripped up. They think they're buying assets when they're actually piling up liabilities. So let's break it down, shall we? An asset puts money in your pocket. It's something that generates income or appreciates in value over time. Think about it like this. A rental property that brings in monthly rent is an asset. A dividend-paying stock is an asset. Even a business that generates profits is an asset. Now, a liability, on the other hand, takes money out of your pocket. It's something that costs you money to own or maintain. Your house, that's right, your beautiful, cozy house is actually a liability. Why? Because it doesn't generate income and it costs you money every single month in mortgage payments, property taxes, maintenance, you name it. Your car, same deal. It depreciates in value the second you drive it off the lot, and it comes with a never-ending list of expenses. And here's the kicker, the rich focus on acquiring assets. They understand that the key to building wealth is to have your money work for you, not the other way around. They buy assets that generate passive income, which they can then reinvest to acquire even more assets. So, if you want to build wealth like the rich, start by shifting your mindset from acquiring liabilities to acquiring assets. It's as simple as that. Chapter 4. Escape the rat race. Break free from the grind. Alright, let's talk about the rat race. You know what I'm talking about? That endless cycle of working a job, paying bills, and then working even harder to pay even more bills. It's a trap that so many people fall into, and it's one of the biggest obstacles to achieving financial freedom. Kiyosaki argues that the rat race is a product of our conditioning. We're taught to go to school, get a good job, and work hard to climb the corporate ladder. But the problem is, most people end up trading their time for money, and they never really get ahead. They're stuck in a cycle of working to pay bills, and they never have the time or financial resources to pursue their passions or achieve their dreams. But here's the good news. There's a way out. Kiyosaki believes that the key to escaping the rat race is to build assets that generate passive income. Remember those assets we talked about earlier? That's your ticket to freedom. When you have assets that are generating enough income to cover your expenses, you're no longer trapped by your job. You have the freedom to choose how you spend your time, and you can finally start living life on your own terms. So, how do you escape the rat race? It starts with changing your mindset. Instead of focusing on earning more money, focus on building assets that will generate income for you. Invest in real estate, start a side hustle, build a business, whatever it takes to create a stream of passive income that will allow you to break free from the grind. Chapter 5. Entrepreneurship, your path to financial freedom. Now, if there's one thing that Kiyosaki is a huge advocate for, it's entrepreneurship. He believes that starting and owning your own business is one of the most powerful ways to build wealth and achieve financial freedom. And you know what? He's right. Think about it. When you're an employee, you're trading your time for money. You're limited by how many hours you can work and how much your employer is willing to pay you. But when you're an entrepreneur, you have the potential to earn unlimited income. You're in control of your own destiny, and the sky's the limit. Now I know what you're thinking. Starting a business is risky, right? And yeah, it can be, but it's also incredibly rewarding. When you're an entrepreneur, you get to be your own boss, you get to pursue your passions, and you get to build something from the ground up. And here's the thing, it doesn't have to be this big, scary thing. You can start small with a side hustle or a part-time business. The key is to take action, learn as you go, and never give up on your dreams. So, if you're tired of working for someone else, and you're ready to take control of your financial future, consider starting your own business. It might just be the best decision you ever make. Chapter 6. Work to learn, not just to earn. Now, this next lesson is crucial. Kiyosaki encourages us to adopt a work-to-learn mentality, rather than just working for a paycheck. What does that mean exactly? It means seeking out opportunities that will teach you valuable skills, even if they don't pay top dollar right away. Think about it like this. Would you rather have a job that pays you $50,000 a year but teaches you nothing new? Or a job that pays you $40,000 a year but gives you the opportunity to learn skills that could potentially double your income in the future? The choice is clear, right? Kiyosaki argues that the skills you acquire are more valuable than your paycheck in the long run. When you focus on learning and developing new skills, you're essentially investing in yourself, and that's the best investment you can make. So, how do you find these work-to-learn opportunities? Well, you can start by looking for internships, apprenticeships, or entry-level positions in industries that interest you. Volunteer your time to gain experience, attend workshops and seminars, and never stop learning. Remember, the goal is to become a valuable asset in the marketplace. The more skills you have, the more in demand you'll be, and the more earning potential you'll have. Chapter 7. The Power of Corporations. Protect your assets, grow your wealth. Now let's talk about corporations. I know, it might sound a little dry, but trust me on this one. Kiyosaki is a huge advocate for using corporations to protect your assets and minimize your tax liability. And once you understand how it works, you'll see why. See, when you operate as a sole proprietor or a partnership, you're personally liable for any debts or lawsuits against your business. That means if your business gets sued, they can come after your personal assets, your house, your car, your savings, everything. But when you operate through a corporation, you create a legal separation between your business and your personal assets. It's like a shield that protects your hard-earned wealth. And here's the other big advantage. Corporations are taxed differently than individuals. They have lower tax rates, and they can deduct a wider range of expenses. So, by structuring your business as a corporation, you can legally reduce your tax burden and keep more of your hard-earned money. Now, I'm not a tax advisor, so I always recommend talking to a professional before making any major financial decisions. But understanding the power of corporations is crucial if you want to build wealth and protect your assets. Chapter 8. Conquer your fear, don't let it hold you back. Let's face it, fear is a powerful emotion, and it can hold us back from achieving our financial goals. Kiyosaki argues that one of the biggest obstacles to wealth creation is the fear of losing money. He says that most people are so afraid of making a mistake that they end up playing it safe and never taking any risks. And guess what? That's a surefire way to stay stuck in mediocrity. Kiyosaki believes that the key to overcoming your fear is to educate yourself and take calculated risks. He says, the only way to do great work is to love what you do. If you haven't found it yet, keep looking. Don't settle. He encourages us to step outside of our comfort zones, embrace failure as a learning opportunity, and never give up on our dreams. Remember, every successful entrepreneur has failed at some point in their journey. It's part of the process. The key is to learn from your mistakes, get back up, and keep moving forward. So if you're feeling stuck or afraid to take the next step in your financial journey, remember this: the biggest risk is not taking any risks at all. So, educate yourself, take calculated risks, and never let fear hold you back from achieving your financial dreams. Chapter 9. Mastering the game, taxes and debt. Alright, let's talk about taxes and debt. Two things that most people try to avoid like the plague. But Kiyosaki has a different perspective. He argues that the wealthy understand how to use taxes and debt to their advantage. They see these things as tools that can be leveraged to create wealth, rather than obstacles to overcome. Let's start with taxes. Kiyosaki believes that the tax code is written in a way that benefits those who understand it. He says that the wealthy use legal tax strategies to minimize their tax liability and keep more of their hard-earned money. And he's right. There are tons of deductions, credits, and loopholes that are available to business owners and investors. You just need to know where to look. Now, let's talk about debt. Kiyosaki is not a fan of consumer debt, the kind of debt you rack up on credit cards and car loans. But he's a big believer in using good debt to build wealth. What's good debt? It's debt that's used to acquire assets that generate income. For example, let's say you take out a mortgage to buy a rental property. That rental property generates income that covers your mortgage payments, and you're building equity in an asset that's likely to appreciate in value over time. That's good debt. You're using debt to create wealth. Of course, it's important to be responsible with debt and to make sure you're not taking on more than you can handle. But understanding how to use debt strategically can be a powerful tool for building wealth. Chapter 10. Breaking Barriers, Overcoming Obstacles to Wealth. Now let's be real, the path to wealth creation isn't always easy. There are going to be obstacles along the way. But Kiyosaki argues that the biggest obstacles we face are often self-imposed. He says that our own doubts, fears, and limiting beliefs can hold us back more than anything else. One of the most common obstacles is the fear of failure. We're so afraid of making a mistake that we end up procrastinating or playing it safe, which ultimately prevents us from achieving our goals. But here's the thing: failure is a part of life. It's how we learn and grow. The key is to embrace failure as a learning opportunity and to use it to make better decisions in the future. Another obstacle is the lack of financial education. If we don't understand how money works, how can we expect to manage it effectively or make it work for us? That's why it's so important to invest in your financial education. Read books, attend seminars, talk to mentors, do whatever it takes to increase your financial literacy. And finally, one of the biggest obstacles is simply not taking action. We can have all the knowledge in the world, but if we don't put it into practice, it's useless. So, take action. Start small if you need to, but don't let procrastination or fear hold you back from achieving your financial dreams. Chapter 11. Change your mindset, change your life. As we wrap up our deep dive into Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Kiyosaki leaves us with a powerful message. It all starts with your mindset. He argues that the biggest difference between the rich and the poor is their mindset about money. The rich see money as a tool that can be used to create freedom and opportunity, while the poor see it as something that's scarce and out of reach. He challenges us to examine our own beliefs about money and to identify any limiting beliefs that might be holding us back. Do you believe that money is the root of all evil? Do you believe that rich people are greedy or selfish? These are just a few examples of limiting beliefs that can prevent us from achieving financial abundance. Kiyosaki encourages us to replace these limiting beliefs with empowering ones. Believe that you are worthy of wealth. Believe that you have the power to create financial freedom in your life, and most importantly, believe that it's never too late to change your financial destiny. Remember, Rich Dad, Poor Dad is more than just a book about money. It's a book about challenging the status quo, thinking differently, and taking control of your financial future. Outro: unlock your financial potential. That was a roller coaster, right? Rich Dad. Poor Dad is packed with so many valuable lessons, and I hope this breakdown has given you a solid understanding of the key takeaways. If you found this video helpful, do me a favor and hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more financial insights and tips. And hey, let me know in the comments which lesson from Rich Dad, Poor Dad resonated with you the most. I'm always down to chat about personal finance. Remember, financial freedom is within your reach. Start applying these lessons today, and watch your financial future transform. Until next time, take care and keep crushing it. Thanks for watching. If you found these lessons from Rich Dad, Poor Dad helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more insightful content. Let us know in the comments which lesson resonated with you the most.